Lord, it's brisk out here this morning. It's supposed to be around like 75 later today. And it's just almost 7 o'clock in the morning right now, but it's chilly. The air is really chilly, but that's okay, honey. I love it. You know I love my Cali weather. So what's up, guys? So today we're heading into the gym right now to do some functional training. I want to show you guys a couple of things that you can do to increase mobility, to do some exercises that are a little bit more outside of the box. This is stuff that's more for intermediate to advanced trainees and those who are working out. So it's going to get your heart rate up, have everything moving head to toe. We're going to do things that follow functional motion patterns, which means like exercises that mimic patterns that you follow, that you do in real life. So they're really great for those who want to not only increase strength, but increase stamina, dynamic flexibility a bit, so you can be able to run better, play with your kids, not feel winded when you're living your day, getting rid of those aches and creaks and stuff like that. You know, you get a little bit older, that starts happening to you. So I'm going to show you a couple of things with that. And then I want to address something that a subscriber had posted on one of my videos in the comments, where she felt that she was really discouraged by what I was saying when it comes to building muscle. She feels like she's doing everything she can. She's short and she's thin. She's a hard gainer. And she's just having a really hard time trying to figure out this muscle gaining thing. This is why I do this stuff, guys, because there's a ton of information for men about bodybuilding or building the body, building muscle, how to eat. But for women, everything just seems to always be about dieting and restriction and that kind of thing. And we're not encouraged to truly lift heavy. And there's a lot of misinformation. I want to get rid of some of that for you and give you all the tools that you need to be successful towards your fitness goals. So we're going to address her concerns and hopefully encourage her along the way. So let's go ahead, head into the gym, all right? Get this workout going, and then we're going to rock and roll with today's inspiration and teaching moment. All right, come on, let's go. Are you ready to rock and roll? Because honey, today I've got a workout for those of you who like to be and stay mobile. Oh my gosh, we are hitting up some functional training today. I love functional training. I am a big fan of functional training. Functional training has helped me to be able to move this body even at this time in my life, and has helped me stay mobile from the time your girl was popping out of them diapers. Okay, maybe not that long, but anyway. All right, so let's rock and roll. First thing I started off with are some air squats. I love air squats because it's a great way to warm up the legs and to really just get the bottom half going. And I paired it off with a superset here with some walkout planks. And I took the walkout planks and opened them up to the side. You know, one of the things that I really love to emphasize in my workouts is using everything from head to toe. When you train the body in this way, you're training the body how to move better in everyday life. Working out is not just about showing up at the gym and throwing weights around. Being able to move better, being able to avoid injury or even come back from injuries is one of the best ways to train your body to be strong for life. So these air squats are really great for getting up the heart rate, pumping blood through the body so that way you can get ready to do your heavier weight training. And one of the things I want you to see with all of the work that I do, I don't train abs directly. I love to do things that tighten up the core, that go ahead, that challenge me and make me step outside of the box in order to hit my abdominals. So throw these into your workouts, play around with them and see how they work for you. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you here to my channel. Make sure that you stop right now to subscribe and make sure you hit that bell notification so that way you don't miss a video. Like this video right now as well, so that way I know, look, Rox, you want me to do more of these to teach you how to train better both in and out of the gym. So this next sequence that I have coming up is a killer, and I'm going to show you a couple of variations with it. Now in the last video that I did, I showed you guys a couple of crazy cable exercises that I love to throw in. I actually make them up half the time. This one is no exception. This is a pass-through lunge with a leg extension. It's a fantastic exercise to target the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads as well. And I love this kind of functional motion because not only are you practicing lunging, but you're also practicing kicking and balance. 3 exercises that you might be doing on a daily basis, which as you get older, the ability to do these things without losing balance or losing strength and flexibility becomes more of a challenge. Now look here, I know how y'all be. So I know you're gonna say, Roxy, I need another variation because that's too hard. Well, I've got a couple here for you. One is going to be an intermediate variation where you'll do the same motion with a stick or dowel rod or something in front of you. And then the second variation will just be you standing with the balance, just doing the leg extension. So add this to your workout with wherever you are along the way. Now there is a third variation of this, and I'm going to show you in a moment, where you're going to be stepping out into a lunge when you hit this exercise. Why am I showing you this? Well, I want you to always be constantly stepping outside of your comfort zone. So many of you think that building muscle only looks one way. Doing machines, doing motions like sitting on a leg press or a leg extension, or even doing kickbacks on the cable. Those 3 exercises that I just spelled out for you are exercises that are combined in this one motion. As you can see here, this is the variation with the kick and the step out into the forward lunge. This is a very advanced version. When I step out into that lunge, I am working both legs, and all of those muscles are getting targeted in one easy move. It's stuff like this that will get you in and out of the gym quickly and help you to develop your body in a way that builds muscle in a very balanced, symmetrical kind of way. And boy, does it kick your butt. So this next exercise that I have for you guys is another superset. And we're gonna start off with some medicine ball slams. Once again, a great exercise to get the core. As I'm taking that twist, those obliques are getting hit in this. And when the ball goes up overhead, I'm throwing it down to the floor. That's all lats. So this is not only a core move, an oblique move, but it's a lat move as well. And you want to do things that are going to make you move dynamically, because the core actually works dynamically in real life, in functional life. You don't sit around doing sit-ups all day, but you surely are twisting and forcing yourself to balance and move through life itself. So this is a great exercise for the abs. Now, this next exercise I really love. This one is called an alternating integrated chest press. This is taking the cable chest press and putting it on steroids and forcing you to use your abdominals. You see that twist happening? Obliques, baby. And then you're also really pushing through the chest muscles as well. This is a great exercise for those of you who want to go with something a little bit more advanced and to push yourself in your chest workouts. Now, I am supersetting these workouts. We're going back to back with minimal rest in between because we want to keep your heart rate up. I have an excellent workout you've got to try. It's called Superstar Supersets, and I'm taking the same principles that I'm applying with this functional training, dynamic workouts, and all that stuff, training you from head to toe, and I put together a training program for you to do a similar thing in the gym. So if you want to try that out, go ahead, click the link below, and get your hands on that workout right now. But I love this. This is one of my favorite chest exercises. I have been doing it for years and years. Great for those of you who feel like you're a little bit weak in your push-ups, weak in your upper body strength. You've got your shoulders, triceps, chest, abdominals, and the legs working all at once. You guys, I cannot stress for you enough how much functional training has its place in your workouts. Do this kind of thing a couple of times a week in addition to your traditional weight training, and you're going to see some amazing changes happening in your body. Now, of course, listen, your girl loves to push some heavy weights around, so I'm going to go ahead now and hit a bench press. We're going to do them with dumbbells, and I'm putting it on the incline. And for this particular set, I'm not going super heavy with these, and I did not superset them. I went one set right after the other with a minimal rest in between. And I talked about undulating periodization later on in this video, and I want you to go ahead and stay on and make sure you watch the very end, because there's a method to the madness when it comes to program design. So many of you are winging it in the gym. Listen, you gotta have a plan and you gotta know how to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. This final set that I'm hitting here with this bench press, as you can see, I actually went up in weight for every set I did. And I'm topping off with about 30 pounds, which, by the way, this is super light for me, super light. I can go heavier a little bit down the line when I'm more conditioned. But starting off from where I am right now, I feel pretty good with this. And I'm doing enough weight to really challenge myself by the end of that set. You got to take yourself outside of your comfort zone if you want to build muscle, honey. And one of the things I want you to gather from every single video you watch of me working out is that I push myself and I have fun. But I also don't necessarily focus on always training the heaviest that I can. When you're doing functional work, it's not always about just lifting heavy for the sake of heavy. You want to lift yourself enough to challenge yourself. And with functional work, you probably actually want to keep the weights lighter and go for a more moderate intensity with your rep ranges. Right here, you see me doing stationary lunges, and this is a fantastic exercise if you're trying to build that booty, honey, especially that top shelf, that shelf booty. Oh, this is going to get that for you, okay? And you're thinking about full ranges of motion when you're going up, going down, really squeezing through the legs, squeezing through the glutes, and making sure that you're stepping outside of your comfort zone even with this. And I didn't go too heavy. This is towards the end of my workout right now, and I'm feeling really challenged because that cable work that I did earlier already hit the legs. The key to longevity is being able to move better and maintain dynamic flexibility, motion, and strength as you age. Push yourself in ways that are intelligent, that will help you to always keep moving towards the next level. Okay, so we'll have a seat over here so my hair isn't flying around when I'm doing this video and annoying the crap out of me. So let's go ahead and address this topic, because let me tell you something. You guys absolutely love the video that I put out. I don't even know how long ago it's been now. I think that video has to be about 2 years old, maybe 3, I'm not sure. But a video that I put out a while ago where I was talking about putting on muscle for skinny women, how to build muscle for thin women. And it's one of the #1 traffic driving videos on my channel. So I know a lot of you are here because of that video. And it's funny because I did a whole nother video about like a couple of months ago, kind of like a follow-up to that video with some more updated facts and stuff like that. But for whatever reasons, YouTube doesn't want to show that video, and I keep pushing it on you guys. I'm trying to make like fetch happen, and YouTube is like Regina George is like, fetch is never gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. And I'm like, oh my god, really? Okay, right? Anyway, listen, check out the newest version right here, okay? And I'll also link to it below, but this is the one I want you to watch. That's the updated version. Might I say, that video is a masterpiece, okay? I love it. I love it. So check out that video if you're trying to put on muscle and you're a hard gainer. So anyway, I had a wonderful viewer who commented on that video, and it touched me because she literally said that she was discouraged after watching it. And I'm like, you know, I'm doing all this great content here. I'm doing all this stuff to encourage women to work out, to lift weights, and to be really confident in the gym. So to hear someone say that my video was discouraging, oh, it stabbed me in the chest, and I was like, I have to fix this. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at her comment.
I've only recently started trying to figure out how to gain muscles, and this video made me feel like that's never gonna happen, since it's much more complicated than I thought. I downloaded an app to try and keep track of my calories, and it's so hard to reach the number I need. I'm 23, 5 feet 2, and 98 pounds. I usually consume 1,000 or less calories a day, and I realize that I need much more. So I'm aiming for at least 1,500, but I still can't reach that. I don't usually eat much, so I'm not a big fan of food. I'm mostly vegetarian and rarely have an appetite. And I also don't want to be eating junk food just to reach the calorie count. It's also nearly impossible for me to reach the protein I need for muscle gain since I don't eat meat. And the protein powders I tried so far, taste horrible that I have to force myself to drink them. I've been going to the gym every day doing cardio, then 2 sets of weights on different machines targeting different muscles. I haven't focused on just one muscle a day, but I'll try to start doing the several reps thing on one machine each time while doing the 2 sets on the rest. I worry that if I do somehow manage to increase my calorie count, I'll end up gaining fat in the wrong places and not be able to turn those into muscles. I've been skinny and weak my whole life, and I just want to finally be strong and fit. I really hope I'm able to reach that goal quickly. Mary Sayer.
Thank you so much, Mary. Honestly, I really appreciate your comment, and there was absolutely nothing wrong in you asking, and I'm here to help you. So let's go ahead and clarify what's going on. You know, one of the things you were absolutely right about is that putting on muscle, gaining muscle is super hard, especially for women, and especially if you're someone with a high metabolism. It might almost seem impossible to do, as you can see when you tried it yourself, but it's going to take a lot of time, it's going to take a lot of patience, it's going to take a lot of effort, and I don't want you to be intimidated by that. You know, it's funny because I always say that the process of putting on muscle is much harder than the process of weight loss. It's not just the physical aspect of it, it's more of the mental game, because trying to put on muscle and change your body, it's kind of like watching paint dry. So many people can see fat loss right away. You can see fat loss, you can see your body changing, you see yourself getting smaller. But the process of putting on muscle, particularly for women, is a much harder and slower process. Now, typically speaking, for most women, it's pretty much baked in the cake that gaining about 1 pound of muscle a month is what you're going to see if you're 100% natural. And that is if you are like genetically blessed, which most of us aren't, right? So muscle gain can be very slow, and you have to just kind of go about it as a long-term goal, not something that you're going to see overnight success with. I gotta fix my chain here. One of the things I think you're going to appreciate in the newer version of the video that I did, and I want you to go ahead and watch that, is that I showed my own video when I first started bodybuilding and how tiny I was. And it took a couple of years of consistent training for me to actually get to the body that you see today. So I want to encourage you that I know from a first-hand perspective how that process is, and you just want to go about it and enjoy it, not destroy yourself mentally while you're trying to do something that should be encouraging. One of the major concerns that Mary had in her comment was the fact that, first of all, she's 5 feet 2, she's 98 pounds and eating about 1,000 calories or less a day. And she's typically someone who eats very little. And she's trying to push herself to have about 1,500 calories a day. And it's been kind of a struggle for her, especially given her vegan, vegetarian, meatless lifestyle. Now, I've shared with you guys before that I have successfully worked with vegans and vegetarians and helping them to change their bodies, to step on stage in bodybuilding and more. So I'm going to tell you right now that, ladies, it is still possible to do that. But we're going to have to first plug up the holes in her diet. You are not going to gain anything, Mary, eating about 1,000 calories or even 1,500 calories. And I know that you're having a very hard time trying to get those calories higher. So the first thing that you need to do is figure out how much you need to be eating per day. And that's a longer video for me to talk about right now. One of the things I will invite anyone out there who wants to learn how to master their nutrition, learn how to do meal planning, and really get your nutrition down for progress and true change that's long lasting and includes the foods that you love, come on by and check out my e-course, Meal Planning Magic 101, and I spell everything out for you there. I'll teach you how to create meal plans exactly the way that I do them for my clients. So that's one place that you may need to start. But all in all, you do need to be eating in a caloric surplus. Now, one of the things I really love to do with my clients who are hard gainers particularly, or any client that I have who has to eat a huge amount of calories, you can think about using mass gainers. And here's the good thing, there are brands that are out there for vegans and vegetarians as well. So whether you are watching this and you're a meat eater or you are someone who is plant-based, there are brands out there that will work for you. I have one specific brand that one of my clients used during her off season, and it was phenomenal for helping her to really put on some good size. She's vegan and she's also someone with a very high metabolism, just like Mary. Go ahead and click that link below if you want to see the brand that we use specifically. And I have to say, I am not endorsed by them. They do not pay me, but just as someone who creates meal plans for people all the time, that is definitely a brand that I would say is a pretty good option. So Mary, I hope that does help you out. So for every single one of you out there, whether you are a hard gainer or you are someone who puts on muscle easily, the number one thing that is important is pushing yourself in the gym and really stepping outside of your comfort zone. So you guys always hear me talk about training heavy, right? And just pushing and not being afraid to throw around those weights. And that's going to be really important when it comes to putting on the muscle that you want to see. Now, the one thing that I will say is that it sounds like her programming is a bit all over the place. It goes to show when you guys need to kind of decide for yourself when it's okay to reach out for help from people like myself. And perhaps for you, Mary, hiring a coach, a trainer, or even just getting into a program or something like that that will give you that guidance is really going to be very important to you and important for your progress. For instance, I have in my Patreon community an entire e-course that is dedicated to helping women to understand program design. In fact, it's called Advanced Program Design Techniques, and it teaches you about what rep ranges to choose, how many sets you should be doing, and how to go about exercise selection when it comes to training. So if that is something that interests you, go ahead and click the link below, and I'll link to the e-course so you can get yourself into that. So you're off to a great start with what you're doing already. I love that you're training 2 body parts in your workouts, and that's a really good thing. What I would say is that when you do train 2 body parts, make sure you're doing opposing body parts. So I love to do something like chest and back, or if we're focusing on legs, we'll do glutes and then quads. So things like that will really help you. I don't necessarily think that you need to specifically just focus on one muscle group each and every day. I do love functional training. I do love moving the body, as you can see in the workouts that I did earlier on in this video. I really feel that when you do that kind of training, it really makes your body recruit all kinds of muscles in ways that will really wake it up and now have your body really grow. But it's not just about training one body part or training 2 or 3 in a session. It's about the quality of the workout. One of the biggest game changers you can have when it comes to training is to get in the gym and to really think about the mind-muscle connection. So let's say you're doing bicep curls, right? It's so easy to just bang those sets out and go boom, 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 right? No, what I want you to do is slow it down. I want you to focus on every aspect of the motion and think about firing up those muscles in a way that's going to make them come alive. So on the way down, you're going with control, and on the way up, you're really thinking about squeezing that muscle and recruiting every single muscle fiber you can along the way. And it's that kind of work that's really going to help your body to develop even further than ever before. Now for muscle building, and this is something that I do go over in the e-course, you want to keep your rep ranges anywhere between about 6 to 12 repetitions, because it's in that range that hypertrophy happens. And hypertrophy is just a fancy way of saying building muscle. And the really sweet spot would be anywhere between that 8 to 10 repetitions. And I've talked about on my channel, and probably in that video that you watched as well, how you should focus on undulating periodization when it comes to your rep ranges. So for example, let's say you're trying to do those bicep curls, right? And you want to really peak out those biceps and build up those arms. Let's say you decided to do 3 sets. Instead of just doing 3 sets of 8 or just 3 sets of 10, what you want to do is every time you do the next set, it makes your body work even harder. So perhaps you start off with a moderate to heavy weight that you can only do about 12 repetitions with. So you go ahead, you bang out that 12. take a rest. You asked about rest periods. Yes, when you're trying to build muscle, you want to fatigue that muscle out enough so that way you actually need about 80 to 90 seconds of rest. So that means you've got to be pushing hard and you've got to push outside of your comfort zone. And I even like to say to come to what I call controlled failure. So if you're deciding to do 12 repetitions in a set, then you want to make sure that by the time you get to that 12th one, that maybe you can do one more, but after that, man, your form is gone, that you really fatigue out that muscle and you really feel like you're putting in that work. It's that kind of microscopic damage to the muscle cells that really pushes along muscle building. It's like you're creating little tears, you're creating damage in the muscle itself, and as it repairs, that's how growth happens. You got to push yourself in that way. Let's say now you're going on to set number 2. So for set number 2 with undulating periodization, you want to go ahead and do about 10 repetitions, but you're going to increase your weight just a little bit. And when you do that 10, you know you got to be near that failure. That is how I want you to focus on working when it comes to building muscle and what you need to be doing in the gym. And this can be applied to any exercise, any muscle group, anything that you want when it comes to what you're focusing on in the gym. And then there's one more thing that I do want to say. I know it's very easy to go on the machines and to kind of stick with that, especially if you're a little bit new at this game. But there's nothing like free weights and actually moving your body through space that really gets everything going, gets every muscle fiber fired up, and that will really help you to see true development down the line. So get off the machines. Yes, you can use them here and there, and especially if you're someone who's brand new, that can be a great option for you. But the more advanced that you get, the more you want to start using dumbbells, kettlebell, cables, and barbells. Now again, this is stuff that I really go over and I really comb through in my Advanced Training Techniques e-course, and that's something that I really encourage you guys out there to get involved with. You know, this training thing, I'm so passionate about it because I just love to sculpt, build, and mold the body. And this is stuff I had to learn. I wasn't born with this knowledge, you know, but I really hope that what we talked about today will help to open that door just a little bit for you guys who are struggling with putting on size. And it's funny because I feel like the fitness industry doesn't talk to women like this. If you open up the men's magazines, you look at men's fitness, you look at muscle and fitness and the things that are geared towards men, they talk about these techniques a lot more than they do in the women's magazines. But here on my channel, here in my stuff, this is what we're all about. Because yes, we are hormonally different than men. And of course, men are going to be able to respond a lot better to training because they have that testosterone, right? But we also have testosterone too. And we are able to train our bodies once you know the science behind it. So I'm always going to come at you guys straight down the plate with the science. So what are your thoughts? Go ahead and post them below. Do you have any questions about anything? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through the comments, and anytime you guys ask questions that I think that the general audience can really learn from, I'm going to address it just like this. So go ahead and share your comments below. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. And if you are trying to build that muscle, listen, I'm going to push this video. YouTube is going to show y'all this video. Listen, go right over here to check out this next video, and I'll see you guys over there.